evening. I am Count Candula, and welcome to Halloween. Oh, thanks for falling out. Oh well. But really, happy Halloween from all of us here at Cameron Productions Projects. And I come to bring you our first ever Halloween special. As many of you may not know, this Halloween special is quite devious. So we'll be talking about one of the best in the business for doing spooky Halloween episodes. That, of course, being the show that has clearly gone on too long. The Simpsons. For years now, The Simpsons have delighted us with ghoulish delight of faint-off Halloween stories. And so tonight, I will tell you the reviews of the first 3 Simpsons Halloween specials, more accurately, their Treehouse of Horrors. And hopefully, we'll be seeing some new and improved horror burst onto the scenes. We'll review the first tonight, then next week we'll be reviewing the next couple, and if you're lucky, on Halloween we'll have completed the first 9 Simpsons Halloween specials. And if you're interested, we will cover them next year as well, here on Cameron Productions Projects. So, without further ado, these are the Simpsons Halloween specials 1 to 3. The first Simpsons Halloween special was not titled Treehouse of Horror. It was instead titled simply The Simpsons Halloween Special. But yet, it revolved around Bart, Lisa, and Maggie telling stories up in their treehouse. Thusly, the Halloween title so clearly Treehouse of Horror was later added to the canon. The stories had a very simple arc. 3 stories, each one giving a devastatingly terrifying Halloween haunt. Usually based off a type of film, book, or literature. Tonight, we shall see them. The first segment is Bad Dream House. Homer moves the family to a brand new house, a parody of the film Poltergeist, but they find the house is not all but they seem. You should see where I move to next time. This place looks like a gold mine compared to my last crypt. But compared to it being buried under an ancient Indian burial ground, strange portals, and the fact that the family has an unhinging nerve to kill each other, the house clearly wants them to get out. And the segment ends with the house imploding itself, tearing itself apart as it would rather destroy itself than live with the Simpsons. To compare, the segment is quite good. It gives you a tone and shows a bit of comedy you don't normally see on regular Simpsons episodes, showing that the anthology series of Treehouse of Horror lives strong in all of us.
Ooh, a vortex. Catch! Hey, pretty slick.
Quit throwing your garbage into our dimension.
I rate the first Treehouse of Horror segment, Bad Dream House, 4 treehouses out of 5. The second segment is Hungry Are the Damned, a parody of the Twilight Zone episode To Serve Man. The first appearance of Kang and Kodos, those 2 devastating aliens who have since made cameos in every single Simpsons Halloween special following this one. Though is it just me, or do they sound like Principal Skinner and Homer wanting to eat the family? This does make sense, as their actors Harry Shears and Dan Castellaneta both voice these 2 aliens. Unlike the Twilight Zone segment, the aliens seem genuinely nice, and are desperate to feed the family, obsessed with their weight. It's only when Lisa the Wasp finds their ancient alien cookbook does she find a book to serve 40 humans. And much like the Twilight Zone twist, well, I think I'll let the clip speak for itself.
Mr. Chambers! Mr. Chambers! Don't get on that ship! The rest of the book, To Serve Man, it's a cookbook!
But sadly, this segment has a much happier ending than that Twilight Zone episode, as the Simpsons are banished back to Earth after insulting the aliens' hospitality, and Lisa closes out by saying that they were the true monsters. To that I say, fuck you, Lisa. You could have had a happy life, but your arrogance got in the way. This is much better than... I find this segment much better than Bad Dreamhouse, simply for the fact that it introduces two of the most iconic symbols of the Treehouse of Horror episodes, and also, just for its parody.
Slaved in the kitchen for days for you people, and...
Well, if you wanted to make Serac the Preparer cry, mission accomplished.
You aren't the only beings who have emotions, you know.
I award this Treehouse of Horror segment, Hungry Are the Damned, 4.5 treehouses out of 5. We close off the first Simpsons Halloween special with a final segment titled The Raven, based off the Edgar Allan Poe poem, which we here at Cameron Productions love just so much. In fact, our founder, Cameron Nichol, read the entire thing out one Halloween back on the main Cameron Productions channel. And who knows, if you're lucky, he might read it again and put actual film to it. What makes this segment stand out is the narrator. The narrator, who also was the voice of the Bad Dreamhouse, is voiced by none other than veteran actor Darth Vader Mufasa himself, James Earl Jones. He adds a certain creep, the deep raspiness of his voice, as well as the fact that Homer is playing our main protagonist, and Bart, the titular Raven. Anyone who's familiar with the Edgar Allan Poe poem knows that the segment does not end happily, as the man is driven mad by the Raven, and his soul is to be lifted nevermore. In my opinion, this is my favourite segment out of this whole first season. It shows good storytelling, a damn good poem, and James Earl Jones to boot.
Take thy beak from off my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the Raven.
Nevermore.
Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
Quoth the Raven.
Nevermore.
Why, you little...
This is the first of many Simpsons Treehouse of Horror stories to be awarded 5 treehouses out of 5. And to rate the first full Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode, I rate it 3 treehouses out of 5. Now, moving on to Treehouse of Horror number 2. But still, they were not named that. They were simply given the Simpsons Halloween special. This one has a more diverse narrative than the first one. Bart, Homer, and Lisa are eating candy on Halloween, but Marge says not to eat too much, for they could get nightmares. This launches us into our first segment, The Monkey's Paw, based off the popular story The Monkey's Paw. Wherever you make a wish on the monkey's paw, a wish will come true, but there will be dire, dire consequences. As the family learns, as they make selfish wish after selfish wish. And it has probably one of the most saddest endings for Homer ever, as he's eventually given it to Flanders, who uses it wisely. Damn Flanders. Truly, the segment is not the strongest. While the consequences are heavy, the comedy and writing are not at the best.
Foolish humans. Oh, yes, Carlos. Earth is now ripe for the plucking.
So sadly, I award this segment 2 treehouses out of 5. We then move on to Bart's Nightmare, and his segment, The Bart Zone. Clearly taken from The Twilight Zone. His segment is a parody of the Twilight Zone episode, It's a Good Life, where Bart is given omnipotent powers. He takes over Springfield, forces everyone to do whatever he says, including putting other people's lives in danger, simply just to ride the school bus. He also forces untold changes, calling America Bonerland. It also features probably one of the most famous Bart-Mo exchanges in all the show's history. Just watch.
Mouse Tavern. Hold on, I'll check. Hey, everybody. I'm a stupid moron with an ugly face and a big butt, and my butt smells, and I like to kiss my own butt. Wait a minute.
Oh.
When Homer finally tries to put Bart out, Much like the Twilight Zone episode, he gets turned into a jack-in-the-box. Bart is eventually taken to the therapist, Dr. I forget his name, and is forced to reconciliate. Bart suffers the greatest fear any kid had, spending time with their parents. I remember my father. He went out to get a packet of blood capsules, and he never came back. Truly, it was a sad night. Although I can't be too bad. We ate a deer carcass the next morning. I close out this segment with 4 Treehouses of Horror out of 5. We lastly get the final segment, If I Only Had a Brain. Not only is this a homage to the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, but it is also an homage to Frankenstein, the classic Frankenstein story. Mr. Burns believes that the workers are not doing their hardest working at the nuclear plant, and thusly gives Homer the pink slip. Undeterred, given Homer has worked there for nearly 34 seasons, he decides to instead go work as a gravedigger. But when Mr. Burns is trying to make a new and improved employee, he finds Homer and digs him up, takes out his brain, and places it in the robot. Sadly, Mr. Burns, you took one thing out of consideration. If you're going to put a brain of a moron inside your genetically created monster, you're still going to get a moron. Mr. Burns, realizing his mistakes, puts the brain back in Homer, but is then crushed by his own creation. This leads to probably a very well-timed twist. Mr. Burns' head is now attached to Homer, and thusly they now share one singular body. And this twist doesn't end in waking up, it carries over into the real world.
Oh!
Did you hear that, sir?
No, I didn't. Who is it? Frankenstein? The Booger Man?
It's the man in the bag, sir. I think he's alive.
Oh. Bad corpse. Bad corpse. Stop scaring Smithers.
I give this Treehouse of Horror segment 2 Treehouses out of 5. And as for this entire short, I give it 4 Treehouses out of 5. Truly, the Simpsons do know about horror, but then again, true horror is never fully appreciated. We finally get to our last Simpsons Treehouse segment for tonight, and this one was a parody of the Alfred Hitchcock intros he would do for his films, starting brilliantly. I should also bring up Marge's intro, as it is also a parody of Frankenstein from Treehouse of Horror 2. This segment, once again, returns to the story format of people telling stories, at a Halloween party thrown at The Simpsons, no less. And I must say, these segments really go above and beyond. The first segment is Clown Without Pity, a segment that doesn't need to even be mentioned, as it features an evil Krusty doll, and probably one of the most famous segments ever, while also being a parody of Gremlins. Let me play the clip.
This object, but beware, it carries a terrible curse.
Ooh, that's bad.
But it comes with a free Frogut.
That's good.
The Frogut is also cursed.
That's bad.
But you get your choice of topping.
That's good.
The toppings contain potassium benzoate. That's bad.
Can I go now?
Unfortunately, Homer forgets Bart's birthday, and thusly has to go to a creepy old Chinese shop to fix it, while being a clever parody of Gremlins. Unfortunately, the doll he buys is evil, and tries to kill Homer at every turn. There's no better line than Homer saying, "The doll is trying to kill me, and the toaster has been laughing at me." But as it turns out, someone set the doll's settings to evil, and thusly, Homer is spared. But is he truly spared? No, because the Krusty doll continues to be his servant, waiting for the day for the switch to revert back to evil. Unfortunately, that never happens, and the Krusty doll still gets to live a pleasant life, doing unspeakably god things to Lisa's Malibu Stacy dolls. Hey, as long as it doesn't revolve in a doll sex scene from Bride of Chucky, we should be fine. The segment is quite good. It's a clever parody of creepy doll films. It has a great sense of humor, and by God, it's all over the place.
Marge, look! The doll's trying to kill me and the toaster's been laughing at me. Ew, dog water.
I give this segment 4 Treehouse of Horrors out of 5. The next segment is King Homer, a parody of King Kong. In this segment, Mr. Burns goes to capture himself a giant ape, which in this version is Homer, and uses Marge as bait. However, when Homer gets to New York, not only does he marry Marge, but he also kills a young girl, climbs the Empire State Building, but unlike the original King Kong, manages to survive. This also features one of Smithers' most famous lines. Here it is.
Arr! What do you think, Smithers?
I think women and semen don't mix.
We know what you think. Young lady!
The segment proves to be quite enjoyable, as not only does Marge get a prominent role, but we also see that Homer eats her father. Still, that's which led to probably one of the longest running Simpsons series. What truly did happen to Marge's father? We, as a society, may never know.
Nice work, Smithers. When we get back, I am giving you a raise. Oh, well.
I give this segment 3 Treehouse of Horrors out of 5. We finally get to our last segment, Dial Z for Zombies, a parody of zombie films. When Bart is not paying attention, he's forced to clean up the library, and comes across the Necronomicon. Thusly, bringing its evil powers to life, he summons an army of zombies, which kill Flanders, make short work of the town, and bring back the bodies of Shakespeare, George Washington, and Einstein, who I guess were all buried in Springfield, I don't know. And in any case, we get to see Homer shoot Flanders, wield a gun, and also the situation be solved simply by the zombies dying. Truly, it shows much more gore, and shows that the Treehouse of Horror specials were finally being acknowledged for being more creepy. While this isn't as blood-heavy as some of the other segments, by God is it creepy. You really feel like the Simpsons are in danger.
Dad, we did something very bad.
Did you wreck the car?
No.
Did you raise the dead?
Yes.
But the car's okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, then.
With all that being said, I give this segment 4 Treehouse of Horrors out of 5. And this whole story, my first 5 Treehouse of Horrors out of 5. So that was my very short review of the first 3 Simpsons Halloween specials. Truly they invoke fear, joy, and a little bit of terror. So, it is with a heavy heart, if I still had one, that I close out tonight by saying good day. And join me again next week, where we will be covering the next batch of Simpsons Halloween episodes. So all I can say is, you better run and hide, 'cause I'll be coming for you. And one more thing. Happy Halloween!